Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Our respect to the highly esteemed panel members who are with us today for our research colloquium. We would like to extend our sincerest gratitude to the administration of DBSIMSCAT under the leadership of Dr. Rene Elamela, SUC President 3, Dr. Milagros Silidonio, Dean of Graduate School, along with other head of offices, and to the Chair of Doctor of Education and our instructor for this course, Dr. Elrene Idalavan, for the opportunity allowing us to share the result of our study. Without further ado, it is with great honor and privilege to present to you our research paper titled On the Phenomenon of Burnout, the Lived Experiences of Teachers During the Current Global Pandemic. I am Mr. Marnel M. Bolio, Teacher 3 of Cataingan National High School, and with me, this research is Mr. Esidorki Almini, Teacher 3 of Jose Zorbito Senior Elementary School. The year 2020 is afflicted with enormous issues that challenge the present global and national socio-political, economic, and educational landscapes. In the time of COVID-19 pandemic, the worldwide education system is in the process of shifting and responding to new and challenging scenarios which test the conventional learning process of classroom, human interaction, and capitalize in modular, online, and radio-based learning. There is no literature or study ever conducted in the division of Masbate Province, particularly in the municipality of Cataingan, regarding the phenomenon of burnout that have been experienced by teachers, which also need to be addressed. The following are the statement of the problem of our study. How do teachers experience challenges in modular distance learning? How do teachers perceive the phenomenon of burnout? How do teachers experience burnout in modular distance learning? How do teachers cope with burnout in the context of modular distance learning? The significance of the study, of course, is for the school organization could prepare interventions to help the teachers ease the level of burnout at work. Education stakeholders could also share and assess the teachers by giving full support to their task in this global pandemic. And lastly, for future researchers could further investigate the result of this study. As you can see on the slide, the research design we used is of course a qualitative research design. In this study, the researchers gathered in-depth insights from the respondents. Qualitative research design has different types. However, in the interest of this research, the researcher employed a variety of phenomenological analysis. Data collection and analysis, the study investigated the different teachers in the Cataingan West District, both elementary and secondary. There were 20 teacher respondents chosen using purposive sampling. Interview schedule composed of structured questions was utilized to gather significant results. And of course, safety protocol was strictly observed during the conduct of face-to-face interviews. The responses were coded and the themes were identified accordingly, which lead to the interpretation of data. Now, let's move on to the results and discussion. First question is, how is modular distance learning implemented in your school? The theme emerged from this question is neutral. Fundamentally, the majority of the responses depict the MDL is different in terms of the dissemination of information and the update through DepEd guidelines. The reasoning behind this type of answer to this question is that the latter is designed as a surface question. Surface questions usually generate surface answers according to Elsner in 2013. For question number 2, how much of an adjustment was modular distance learning to you? The emerging theme in question number 2 is extensive and difficult. A sample response is as follows. MDL is much adjustment because you will be spending a lot of time printing modules, preparing assessment or performance tasks, and other urgent reports requested by the school principal. Apart from that, I have to adjust because there is no internet or even signal in our location, and we are unable or delayed in printing modules and other tasks due to power outages, which has resulted in long days and restless nights. I also have to adjust the urgent report that needs to be sent, which demands a lot of patience owing to the internet and power outages most of the time. To supplement this finding, set in the context of the Philippines, a study of Espineli in 2021 shares the same concern about the MDL in the Philippines due to its distinctiveness from the normal traditional setup. Garcia in 2020 also added that teachers suffer a lot, especially in regions where there is no stable internet connection, enough power supply, or up-to-date learning technologies. Question number 3. How does it affect your job? The theme quality of work or efficiency stood out among the rest, which extends to the conclusion that MDL has negatively affected the quality of teachers' work. A sample response is as follows. It impaired my efficiency in doing tasks. It has an impact on my job since I am unable to function well because I am preoccupied with multiple tasks or responsibilities. It has affected also to my security since the place where I am assigned for distribution and retrieval is a critical area. Massive armed people have conflict with the government. This is supported by McGrath in 1976 when he concurred that adjustment can lead to stress, which eventually leads to one's inability to respond to environmental stimuli. When one does respond, it is associated with psychological and or physiological damage, which continually contributes to the cycle of inefficiency in doing one's task. For question number 4, do you feel happy with the implementation of modular distance learning? In question number 4, the emerging theme states a negative perception of MDL. The prevalent reason behind this includes the inefficiency of the modality, which is reported as follows. DepEd should think a better system, especially in utilizing the modules and reducing reports asked us to provide. This was supplemented by Dangley et al. In 2020 with regards mainly towards the case of modules. To note, according to the same study, the orientation of teachers with regards to MDL is primarily negative because of the said reason. Question number 5, do you feel like getting tired with the MDL setup? The novel challenges brought about by this setup contributes to the phenomenon as one of the responses. Yes, it is exhausting and dangerous. Especially I was assigned to a far-flung area where there are fewer armed persons in the isolated part who may harm us while we are delivering the modules. In addition, my motorcycle has previously surrendered and been wrecked due to the rough or muddy road during the rainy season and was unable to survive. This response was supported in the studies of Fontanos et al. In 2020, cited in Jamon et al. In 2021, highlighted the perceived threat of the teacher in the new normal, including the problem of reaching out to students and parents as well as transportation of modules. For question number 6, how do you feel about it? Do you feel burnout at work? When asked if the teachers experienced the phenomenon of burnout, 100% answered yes. According to one of the statement, yes, I'm experiencing burnout, mental and physical stress. According to the study conducted by Yu, Wang and Zai, Dai and Yang in 2015, workplace stress and self-efficacy were found to be highly linked to teachers' job burnout, according to the findings. For question number 7, how do you manage with being burned out at work? The most prevalent theme of this is faith, with a sample response of I rest, pray, and meditate. For question number 7, how do you manage with being burned out at work? The most prevalent of this theme is faith, with a sample response of I rest, pray, and meditate. According to Chirico et al. In 2019, spirituality and stress is effective upon alleviating the stress or mental troubles brought about by burnout on teachers. One benefit of this study is that it was able to inquire of how teachers cope with being burned out, with faith as a primary prospect for coping. However, there is a need to strengthen how to improve teachers' mental health in the workplace. For our recommendations, these are the following. Strengthen and expand the Department of Education's mental health program. Teachers' reports and paperwork should be reduced so that they can concentrate on teaching. School leaders, together with teachers and parents, should develop strategic planning to come up a framework that would help teachers from burnout. Teachers must be provided with tangible and intangible support necessary for modular distance learning in a financially flexible manner. The local government unit should intervene and provide constant monitoring and support for teacher security and safety during the distribution and retrieval of modules to remote places. For future researchers to conduct additional related studies about modular distance learning in various remote places in the world to emphasize and explain the critical needs in improving remote teaching and lowering teachers' burnout. Thank you very much for listening.